Let's assume that we have some SolidWorks files that we want to take a look at. And so I've loaded the Autodesk Viewer, which is online, so I don't need to install any software. And I can have those in a particular location. I can open up that location. So I have on my desktop, I have a folder called Problem 2 SolidWorks Solenoid. And because of the structure of how I have these files, I kind of know that this was the top level assembly, but let's assume that we don't know the top level assembly and that all of these sub-assemblies and the parts were all lumped together into one folder, and I don't know what belongs with what. But in this case I do. I'm going to drag one of these assemblies over, and it could be any one of them, and the viewer asked me if are there other files associated with this, and I will go into this sub-assembly folder, and I'll shift select all of those files, and I'll drag those and drop those in, and then I'll go back up. I'll go to the parts folder, and I'll shift select. Now, one thing I didn't try is just try dragging the entire folder in, and actually it looks like it worked just to drag the folder in. I've got all of the parts that were in that folder, so I'll go ahead and do upload. And so I see the assembly, and then if I go to model browser, I have my top level assembly and then the sub-assemblies, and with each one of those sub-assemblies the parts that are within that sub-assembly. So now I have a list of all of the parts and the level that they are in these various sub-assemblies. So I'm going to go to Fusion now, and I'm going to upload the same files. So I'll do selective files, and I will go to my file location, and I'm going to attempt to drag the entire folder into Fusion. And so I'll drag that folder, and I'll drop that, and when I do, then Fusion asks me to select a top level assembly. Now, because I know which one is the top level assembly, so I have the sub-assemblies, and then also I know that this is the top level assembly. I've found that from the viewer. Again, assume these were all part numbers or assembly. They're not given names like this where it makes it difficult to figure out which one is the top level assembly, but because I opened it up in the viewer, I know that that's the top level assembly. So I'll go ahead and open this, and my upload is complete. I'll do a search on my top level assembly, so I'll search for locking mechanism, and there it is. So I'll double click on that, and so now I have opened up my my mechanism from SolidWorks into Fusion 360.